Hey, hey. Hi, guys. All right. So this is part two. If you didn't see part one, you'll want to check out that free link first and watch part one because we're going to kind of pick up on the cliffhanger that we had. It appears that we may have quite the intricate storyline here. So if a King of Swords is trying to figure out, trying to think with a pen in hand or, cell phone in hand or whatever, trying to figure out how will I even begin to explain the movie quality escapades that happened to have been my life at one point in time. The villains and the, legalities and all these things. How will I even begin to explain all this? And you see his head is here kind of like in a bit of advice, but up above we see him. It's almost like he's starting to write this message. He's trying to, and it could be like, wow, this is like a 7-layer cake. It's like you got to build it with this layer, and then after that you fill it, and then you put the next layer of cake, and then you fill that, and then you put the next layer. It feels as if he had a situation that was so much, you know um complexities layered on complexities, and I feel like no wonder it would be some difficulty in explaining. And it does feel like he wants to just like start writing to her, start connecting to her, because she is on his mind endlessly. I mean, that's what this is a Two of Cups. This is his feminine that he is starved to be with right now. But at this point, the complexities of what he needs to say, and he doesn't even care anymore. He wants to get it all off his chest. His life has burned down around his ears to a certain extent, and what remains, the good thing, is her, the thoughts of her. So no wonder he wants to go ahead and connect, but he wants to tell her the entire thing. Let me take a closer look at, with that Seven of Wands, the layers of things, the things that had been such huge complications and why they've been such huge obstacles to this, to him simply being with her. We have the Temperance and we have the Six of Cups. Again, it's like he just doesn't care anymore if there are so many things that before maybe he didn't want to trouble her with, or didn't want to convey to her, or thought he shouldn't convey to her, whatever the things were that made him not tell her everything. That's over. The days of waiting, that those days are over. Now he just wants to go ahead and walk through those doors. It feels as if he realizes, unless she can see everything, all the bits and pieces, all the moving parts, is never going to make sense anyway. And all I care about now, I just want to return. This card always makes me think of the song Pepani, which was covered by the Piano Guys. But it's actually that song by Coldplay, meaning paradise. I think Pepani is Swahili for paradise. Please, correct me if I'm mistaken. I'm sorry. I don't always have everything at the forefront of my mind, but it's that piano way up here, on the cliff top. If you watch a music video for Pepani, it's really beautiful. I think it's filmed like right either over Bryce Canyon or Grand Canyon. I haven't seen it in many, many years, but sorry, I have had an itchy palm, well, Thanar eminence, I suppose, for such a long time now, and I don't know why. There is nothing. I probably have a little thorn from the cactus still in there or something, but sorry. I know they say that that's good luck. That means money is coming in, so I share that with everyone. If there is such a thing. But if you see me itching, it's because there is something that perpetually has been bothering me for like couple weeks now. It just itches a little bit. It's just weird. I've never had that, and there's no nothing there. So hopefully it is lots of good finances coming into everyone. I share the love, I share the prosperity. I wish it for everyone. But with that Six of Cups, this is him wanting to come back. This is him wanting to not just explain it all, but we're talking like the whole 9 yards. Like there's not going to be anything that he keeps from her at this point, because I think that's what so much of this problem has been. There've been so many things he was dealing with, and it's like it would be such a blessing to unburden himself and tell her everything. It would be, frankly, it would be like heaven. Yeah, Five of Wands. Oh, and whatever these problems had been, man, those roots go deep. There could have been family complications and family's other complications that then became his complications through association. This is at least three people's lives with at least five other people arguing and fighting and roots that went really deep. No wonder it's like it would be a blessing for him to leave all this behind and maybe just get to talk to her, someone he didn't have any of those layers of complications with, and the fighting and the arguments and the problems and the like all of this. It's kind of like I could leave this all in the past. Look, I do think, plain and simple, at this point things have gone so awry in his own world, as we see him as like this burned out tree man. I think he's just ready to let go of the mess that he had been juggling and trying to stay on top of for other people or dealing with other people's drama. I do think that explaining all this will be good to get it off his chest, but also it's with the intention of leaving it all behind and actually just wondering if maybe I could step away from this and I could be with my Six of Cups. I could be with this feminine that I want so much to be with. Okay, let's go back over to the feminine. And there she is saying, I wish the King of Swords would just tell me the whole thing. I wish he would just tell me the full story. That's what would change everything, right? And it's okay if it's a Jack in the Box where he pops up out of nowhere. Just like clean this up. He's wearing white because it's a color of purity. Listen to your divine inspiration. Change the dynamics between us by telling me the whole situation. I wish he would just show up and do it. And it's interesting because here he is holding again like a pen or a wand, dipping it into this little ink pot. She is like literally channeling the message to him. Just write to me. Just tell me the whole mess. Six of Cups. And then just come on back home to me. Can we just, oh God, I don't want the obstacles anymore. Just send me the message. And this is him and her. You notice that they're actually in like a snow globe. And it's like, I would rather just have a little universe where it's just you and me. So if you want to escape what you've had, if you want to leave your mess behind, come here and just be with me in this, and we'll have our own little snow globe together. Quit being that, little tin soldier. It's like she already guesses that he has been wound up and has been taking care of things that shouldn't have been his, that he's been doing someone else's bidding, because he has, the little, oh God, what do you call it? When the wind-up dolls, the little wind-up thing on the back of his back, well, she has one too. So she may already have a pretty great understanding that sometimes, and maybe she's like, we're cut from the same cloth. I know what it's like when I have been, feeling like I had to do other people's bidding. I know what that feels like because I've been there, and it's awful. You get stuck doing other people's things for them, and it's terrible. But I've freed myself, and now if only he would. So she seems to be like almost understanding all of this, or at the same point that he's at, which is what we said at the beginning. It's like two people are saying, look, I don't care about all the other problems. I care about you and I care about me. So every other thing, surrender all the rest of the garbage and let's just be together. I mean, everything's shaky and, it's messy anyway. Our separate lives have plenty of upheaval. The one thing that is true is that I care about you, you care about me. So does anything else really matter? Or could we just go ahead and say, we're going to carve out space for us? Forget about everybody else's problems. Can we just carve out space for us? This doesn't mean that he's like going to shirk all responsibilities or anything like that, but I think he made everybody else's problems his responsibilities. I mean, that's what we saw here with this King of Swords, which almost now begs the question, does he even have that much to like convey to her, explain to her, like, to try to say, I did this and then I had to follow through with that. And then I had all these problems to handle. I don't know. Does she? I mean, it sounds like she wants to hear the whole thing. But on the other hand, we have Four of Cups and we have the Hierophant. There's a certain amount of Like, how disappointing that all that other stuff that I know he's been dealing with has kept him away from me. It's disappointing that sometimes we are insisting that there's other things more important than our own personal life choices. And I feel like she is somebody who is, once upon a time, she's been somebody's wind up doll where she did other people's bidding instead of taking care of her own life the same way he has. I don't feel like these are two people that don't have minds of their own, but I do feel like they're two people who can feel obligated to do others' bidding. So she understands this because she's like, I did that before too, and I regret that. Until you have an awakening, though, you don't stop doing other people's bidding. Until you have that, crown chakra awareness that I don't have to do other people's bidding anymore. You're never going to just be your own free self. So I think she is in that place where she's reached that point, that mentality where I'm done with this. I really am. I'm done with all this. I like seeing that for her because it already says she's not going to say, well, too late. You should figure this out. She's like, I already know you can't figure this out until you figure it out for yourself, until you know that you're done doing other people's bidding, paying more attention to family drama than living your own life, feeling like you have it's your responsibility to take care of all kinds of other nonsense. You can't stop doing that until you have that moment of awareness that it's a regret that I have put my own life on hold for other people's drama. I think she understands that completely. So no matter what the big, huge, explanation and all of the drama is, I feel like she's just going to listen and be like, yeah, I get it. I know. She's not mad. Or won't be mad is what it says here. It's unfortunate, and she may say that, but on the other hand, if this is where he's at, he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't want to deal with other people's crap. He wants to be free of it. In this storyline, he has nothing to stay for. Wherever he's at, it's all burned down. So he's the one who has the freedom to now step into her world. So in this story, it's a very one-directional thing. The King of Swords is going to be entering into the Queen of Wands' life. Let me go back to, this whole second part of this story was to say, so he's going to be trying to figure out, how do I explain so many layers of this? The only thing that is, like almost unnecessary is she's going to understand all those layers anyway. So it's not as if he's going to have to craft the perfect explanation so it'll all make perfect sense to her. She's already going to understand it. The obligation that you place upon yourself to be there for everybody but yourself, she's going to understand that. So let me go back and say, if these two are in such sync, that, on her mind is simply the King of Swords. On his mind is simply the Queen of Wands, and we literally have the Queen of Wands coming out again. Boy, this has been very, no matter what deck we use, no matter if we're in part 1 or part 2, you notice that the same characters keep coming out. So we have a very strong sense of who these characters are, because she was a Queen of Wands in part 1. She's a Queen of Wands here. Right now, it actually says that her thoughts that she is projecting, and bear in mind, the feminine energy is the energy of the moon. She is the one pulling his energy and saying, I'm attracting those words out of you. I am saying, send me the message. That's what our feminine seems to be doing at this point. We have got the 9 of Wands in the reverse. Again, this is terrific, because if he were like, exhausted and still confused by everything that had gone on, he probably wouldn't be able to just say, F it. I don't care. I just want to talk to her. I don't care if I look stupid. I don't care if there's a million stupid things I have to explain. I just need to talk to her. He's at that point. This is like the surrender. I'm done fighting. I'm done fighting the pull toward her either, because that's what I want. I want to talk to her. She's on my mind 1,000 times a day. 4 of Swords. He wants peace too. And I feel like the only way he's going to have peace is if he finally talks to her, because I think it's got to be maddening for him that he thinks of her. And in part 1, I said it's like he thinks of her all day now. She is like continually on his mind. We have the Fool and we have the Emperor. You know what's ironic? Once upon a time, I think he thought he can't just abandon ship and go and be with her. Now he's like, the only way I'll ever be an emperor is if I abandon ship and go and live my own life. She's the person I need to go be with. Plain and simple. I still say a lot of things wrapped up, but they wrapped up in like just total like burning down, like problems that never got solved, conflicts that he was trying to like be the mediator in, if it was family relationships type stuff or whatever that Five of Wands showed us with those deep roots of struggle, everything that he ignored himself and his own life for in order to try to fix, those things never even got fixed. That's why he's finally able to wash his hands of it. And this is him stepping into his emperor energy. And I feel like that's what he realizes. I don't know that we've ever seen a storyline where it's more, more perfectly balanced for like all the other extraneous things no longer matter. What matters is these two hearts. What matters is these two hearts actually being able to be together at last, because the feeling of being obligated by other people's needs and wants, that's no longer the priority. It's finally the priority of my heart, my life, the person I want to share my space with. And I feel like both she and he share that same perspective. I don't care. I want to be with my person. I want him to come here. I want him to enter into my world. And boy, oh boy, anything else that tries to get in the way of that, it's like, nope, don't want to hear your problems. Nope. I feel like he is going to only be protecting his relationship with her. So are you sending this message to her? Is that it? Because it looks very definitive. Seven of Swords, Knight of Coins. This actually says he's doing more than that. He's already been, in this case, he's hidden something that he's been working on for quite a while. What does that mean? Seven of Coins, again, he's been building something, growing something. He's been prepping something for longer than what he's acknowledged. Eight of Pentacles. What are you doing? You've been working on something way longer than this. Six of Wands, sideways, Hierophant, and the High Priestess. I almost feel like, although he's been trying to write something to her, the truth of it is the real foundation of what he's been doing has been to like create his like exit strategy already so that he can show up in her world. I feel like he's been doing almost like reconnaissance, and he's been energetically trying to connect to her, even in his subconscious. And he has been, finally we have him as a King of Cups. It's the first time we've seen him change. I almost feel like it's going to be more than a letter. This feels like he's been working on like literally showing up in her world. I don't think he wants to send a letter. I think, or if he does, he wants to be able to be like present in her world at the same time. There's so much more work and effort that's been put into this already so that he can like, I feel like he wants to do an eyeball to eyeball conversation with her. That's how that comes across to me. I feel like it's been in the works for a long time and we're basically there. So I don't know how swiftly this now happens, but it looks like really swift because it's already been in the works for some time. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Bye.